It's your boy Mike, welcome back to another Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra video. With Toppo releasing soon, I kind of wanted to just make a tier list on the current state of the game and talk about all of the reasons why I believe a character should be buffed and like their strong points, their weak points, and all of that stuff. That being said, this is going to be the first time I've done a tier list for Gekishin Squadra, so go easy on me, please. And also, all of these opinions are my own. If you have someone higher or lower, that's entirely fine, you know, but this is just my personal opinion, right? So let's go ahead and talk about the worst character, already put as Bojack. Dude, he is so fucking bad, and it is so crazy that there are people who will try to argue otherwise. Like, late game, I suppose he can do some stuff, like with his Psycho Thread. Once it's maxed out, it has a decent amount of range, decent amount of damage, and like the explosions can definitely hurt a lot. His Cosmic Bloom, though, is just entirely pointless. I feel like the amount of times you'll actually get usage out of this is a handful of times. And then the Galactic Buster is actually pretty nice. I will say that this move is pretty good. His super attack, though, is possibly the worst. I think it is just the worst in the game. You can argue it for the worst in the game. While it does have a very, very decent range and the damage output on it is very good, the main issue with it is that Bojack is stuck in that position for the entire duration of the animation, right? So this entire animation that you're seeing right now, you're going to have to stand still the entire time. When there are a lot of characters who can burst that damage and kill you while that is happening, it makes it entirely a gamble, basically, to use this. And you have to be like super safe with it. But it can be a nice boss killer if set up right, for sure. But like overall, I think he just needs buffs. The other thing too is that he only has one debuff inside of his entire kit, and it's his Psycho Thread, which applies movement speed down while enemies are in the AoE. Nothing else has it, right? The Cosmic Bloom doesn't have any single debuff. The Galactic Buster doesn't have any single debuff or buff. The super attack does not have any single debuff or buff. Like, nothing changes. So what's like the point? You know, what does this character excel in? And the answer is really just nothing. Like his quote unquote like best thing is range. Like, come on. So he gets put at the bottom. Next, I'm gonna unfortunately have to put the Gamas, and it's really sad because I do really like these characters, and I do think that the Gamas, they're not bad per se. It's just that they like emphasized on they really put an emphasis on having it where these are show-off characters, right? Like they wanted it to be like character accurate in a sense by making every single one of these moves like show-offy, showboaty in a sense. Like the Gamma Strike, for example, the 3 continuous strikes, right? Like the third one has it where you do a backflip, do an animation, and you are locked inside of it, I believe, unless you use your Vanish. So even though it does a decent amount of damage, the issue with it is that you're like a stationary target after using it unless you use your one escape option, which is stupid. But the thing that is really nice with them is the Gamma switch. Having it where you have 2 HP bars on the field is pretty nice. The one drawback with this, though, is that if one person gets knocked out, you will unfortunately not only lose one of your skills, whichever the Gammas gets knocked out, of course, and then on top of it, you also lose that character until you go back to spawn point, or if you use the ultimate. So it really is like an unfortunate situation. And on top of that, I feel like their third like skill is just kind of pointless in a sense. But they're so unique and so fun. It really does hurt to just put them all the way down here. Next, we are going to go into the B tier, which I'm gonna just be honest. I'm gonna put him first because out of all the B tier units, I think he has the potential of being A, but it's entirely reliant on your team. Because if your team is stupid and dumb, then this character is gonna look horrible. But if your team is not stupid and dumb, this character can look pretty fucking cool. Not only does he have the finger barrage that is like a pushback that can help your allies escape, your possession can help you heal some of your allies and can get some really nice early kills. The only worthless skill, in my opinion, is the second skill. And even then, late game, I do think there is a decent amount of like use case scenarios for this because the AoE is so large, I would say. And you also get the strike defense up, which is definitely nice too, while also applying movement speed down to enemies, so you can chase down or help your allies chase down people with this, right? The possession, I haven't really seen like too much usage out of it. It's more like an extra HP bar than anything, rather than me going like, oh dude, I took over Goku's body, that now I'm gonna get like a quad kill, you know, like oh, I won the game. Like it's just there, you know, it just happens. But man, like you can make some pretty big plays with Baby, right? And I think that's the reason why I would probably put him at the... Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, this list is not ordered unless specified. So like later on, I'm just going to put things randomly, but specifically for B tier, I would put Baby in the top of B tier just because I feel like he could be A tier, depending on the situation and your allies, of course. But back to what I was saying. His ultimate also does like a decent amount of damage. I think the thing that holds him back a lot is, again, your teammates can... Well, the nerfs really impacted this character a lot. But on top of that, your teammates can make this guy entirely worthless. The finger blitz barrage can do some decent damage early game, but later on it doesn't really feel like it's doing too much damage. And the possession can be nice for sure, but if you're running someone like Super Saiyan 3 Goku, one of the better DPS in the game, and you're not someone who is going actively into fights and being a close range to people to get that damage in, this guy's gonna look so bad. Like so bad. If you're laning bottom lane with Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Baby, this guy's gonna look so worthless. But like if you're doing Super Saiyan Goku, if you're doing 18, if you're doing anything like that, I do think that this guy can look very, very good. Next, we're gonna have Zamasu. Another character heavily impacted by nerfs to the point where it genuinely is just like, he has a lot of survivability and like the body regeneration, the fact that you get so much of that body regeneration with the first skill, like you can get like half your bar with this. His Project Zero Mortals gaining the immune to all, while also just making it where people inside genuinely can't move. Like, dude, look at the Super Saiyan Goku, right? You cannot escape that. He can't move at all, and he's going full speed, dude. Look at that. But he just doesn't feel like he's having too much of an impact in terms of like damage and stuff. And if you focus damage with his divine cards, I feel like it leaves him very susceptible to taking damage, like a little bit too much. But he's not a bad unit or a bad character per se. He's just one that was just, again, too affected by the nerfs that he's just middle ground tier right now. He doesn't really have anything too special about him. His, like, I'm gonna be honest, I feel like his Fierce God Slicer just genuinely does 0 damage. It's such a worthless ability. His Divine Rush can be used to not only push enemies back, but just get out of situations though. And his Heavenly Arrow is easily like one of the easily the best ability about him, because it just gives so much body regeneration, right? And the body regeneration itself is so good because you just get stuff like that, right? Where you get hit by a Spirit Bomb, and then immediately it's like you just took no damage from it. Like, it's so good. But again, he just, I don't know, he's not too good as of right now. Next we have Dabura. I really wish I could say differently about him, but the main issue with this guy is mostly the fact that late game he doesn't feel like he has that much of an impact. He is very good early game when you're doing a 2v2 style format, and you can do some insane stuff with his petrification, especially after the recent buffs. But late game, it doesn't really feel like you're doing too much stuff with him, and I think that's where my main issue lies with him, is the fact that as good as he is early game, late game is when he just kind of falls off a lot. Not that he falls off a lot, it's that other characters get so much better late game while Dabura just slightly gets better that it's hard to say that he's good. He's just okay. But the petrification, like I said, is so nice, man. And his Doomsray is like a really nice ability that is just really easy to hit. His Darkness Spear, I suppose, can be used to like chase down opponents, but it's pretty hard to hit until you level it up and get it later on. His Evil Flame though is just free movement speed down with petrification and the like free damage. You know, like I feel like it's an insanely easy ability to hit. It could be a really nice kill confirm. His Evil Blast as well. It doesn't fill up the petrification as much, I feel like, as it should. And I don't know, like when other characters are able to do a lot more damage with their ultimate, it's just like something that's there, you know. It like I said, it's just really hard to rank that guy. Next is Cell. I think you could put him above Zamasu in certain situations, but the main thing that draws me back from this character is just the fact that he's so weak early on. He is so terrible early game until you're able to finally get to perfect form, and then this guy like shoots up. He shoots up for sure. Because his defenses are just insane. The amount of, you know, HP you have is one of the highest, I believe, for tanks. His armor is he just takes everything too well, right? But I would say that the thing, again, just like his early game, is the thing that holds him so far back. And another thing too is, I'm gonna be honest, we look at a lot of these other characters who are in B tier, and Cell's feels like one of the most early game but does nothing late game super attacks in the game, because his energy field does barely any damage. All it does is like the one good ability about it is that it stops what is it, like while you and any allies within the barrier will gain immune to energy. Yeah, so like he can't be hurt by Ki Blast, for example, right? And that is pretty nice, right? But then his Cell games, it's just like all it does is lock an opponent out, and then you're faced in a 1v1, right? And Cell is a lot harder to kill when you're doing that. So it could be used to like lock out an opponent. But like when we look at all of these other units who are B tier, they're just having a lot more of an impact on their ults, just because it does like higher damage or does something to impact the fight more. Like Baby, for example, can have it where not only can you get a lot of HP back, but like you can easily burst a lot of that damage with his ultimate. Like it is a instant ult that just does a decent amount if you can get everyone inside of it, all of the enemies inside of it, right? But Cell's is just like, it's so fucking stupid. Like it's just it I don't know, it doesn't feel like something that you really care about or that you upgrade, right? Like I anytime I watch people who play Cell, they never upgrade their ultimate past their first super attack. And it's like, yeah, I kind of get it. All right. Next, we are going to. Oh wait, hold on. I forgot. I actually have to. I meant to put. Wait, no, we're good. We're good. I thought for some reason that because I have like the list on the side of me, so that way I can kind of reference it and all that. Because I just took a photo of it, but I forgot that I still have 3 tiers left. Next, we're gonna have 17, who is you could argue the worst of the technicals. His impact is, he's not again, I don't want to make it seem like he's a bad technical. He just doesn't feel like a decent enough technical, in my opinion. Like, the best part about him, right, is his android barriers. That's like the main gimmick of this unit, is that I will protect you and I will give you extra HP. But look at his shield, dude. Let's count this. 1, 2, it's gone. You have a 2-second window when using your barriers to protect that ally. And it's not a barrier that slowly goes down in HP. It's not a barrier that like stays there until it's gone. It's a barrier that as soon as that 2-second timer is up, it's gone. You lost it all. And it's like, I feel like it needs an update. Because why is it should have it where it just slowly diminishes, or is like lost after like just a semi-permanent shield, like the second that you lose it, like it's gone in a sense. But it I don't know why they make it so what's like the term for it, where the window of time that you have to actually be able to use it is so small, you know. And it's the same argument that I have with the counter barrier. Because like, again, let's look at the like little video here, right? 1, 2, 3, it's gone. It is the same exact thing as the android barrier, but it's an ultimate, so you get like a little bit of a higher HP. It does damage. You get the no healing. Like it does a lot of effects. So I'm okay with the barrier like going away. I like that. But it's like, it still shouldn't be like that, if that makes sense. His barrier knuckle is also pretty like meh, I would say. The stagger can definitely be pretty nice if you do activate it twice, though, for sure. But his barrier ball is easily the best thing about him, and can be used for a lot of confirms on like EXL juniors or Kais or just things like that, because you can just spam it when you combine that with the infinite energy reactor. And the infinite energy reactor is also a really, really nice ability for sure. But like I said, the main, because like, for example, right, why would you want to take 17 when you can just have Boo and that health is restored, rather than it's just like a semi-permanent, or not a semi-permanent, it's like a 2-second shield. That's my main issue with 17. Next, we have Vegeta. And again, just like another okay character. Not really too much complaints, other than I would just say that my main issue with this guy is that I feel like he doesn't really do too much damage, but he does back it up with having a lot of defense and being able to constantly replenish his shield or his armor. But his photon bomber and his super attack can pair together very, very well, and just his photon bomber in general can be used to pair with a lot of other ultimates, because it just draws people towards the center and it has a very wide AoE range. But I think that like he's not as bad as Zamasu and Cell, but he's not as good as something like Cooler, for example. You know, he's kind of in the middle of that, where he doesn't really have things. He doesn't tank the best, and he doesn't do damage the best. So he's like in the middle of that. That's what I would say. Next is Gotenks. I really like Gotenks, and I think he's a very fair and balanced character, but he definitely does have some issues for sure. The fact that, well, not it's supposed to make it where it's not like an instant kill, for example, right? But his hyper ultra super combo can just be vanished out of. So, like, if a person is fighting against Gotenks, they'll most likely just hold vanish until they get attacked with that. And sure, the vanish won't come back, or the vanish will have a higher cooldown than the hyper ultra super combo, right? But it's a good ability that, when getting the stagger, can be very impactful, but it has such an easy counter that every single character has, that it kind of makes it a very hard thing to use. His Galactic Donut as well is just another ability where it's like, wow, this is a really nice ability, but it's only good late game. Because his wind-up animation, like, look, 1, 2, 3, like, it takes 2 seconds for the move to actually come out, and then 3 for it to bring it towards the center. So the window of opportunity for you to actually be able to use the Galactic Donut is such a specific, like, one, that when the AoE range is so small early game and it doesn't get very impactful until late game, it's very hard to set up with it. His super ghosts are so good though. You can use it to protect tower, you could use it to have it on self and allies, and by the way, if you put it on allies, the cooldown will still continue to go down and refresh while the ghosts are on them. So you can have it where the ghosts are pursuing your ally, and then you just get the cooldown, and then you just keep spamming ghosts. So, and the fact that the ghosts are also able to apply movement speed down as well, is just another really good like effect that you can have on this guy for sure. And I gotta say, his Super Ghost Kamikaze attack, when used properly, can be so deadly. There is, like, the movement speed of the actual, because it follows you, right? The movement speed of the actual Super Ghost Kamikaze attack is not that like large, and you can definitely get out with it with a lot of characters with their, like, escape options. But when late game you're using the Super Ghost Kamikaze attack, you know that a lot of the allies are going to be pushed together because you're pairing it with your Galactic Donut. You do the Super Ghost Kamikaze attack. While that's happening, you go ahead and use your Super Ghosts, and then as soon as you're done summoning your Super Ghost, you do your Hyper Ultra combo to hopefully stagger the opponent. All of that stuff combined together can make this guy look so good, and even S tier. But I think overall, in most situations, he'll probably just be A tier, right? Next, we have another technical with Krillin. Now, Krillin, it's funny. Out of a lot of these characters that we have on this list who got nerfs, like Zamasu, like Baby, like Krillin, he's the one that I feel like got impacted the least. Not to say that he didn't get worse, of course, but the things that he still made him good are still good about him. Like, his energy mines are still good, his solar flare is still annoying, his scattering wave was always bad. Like, all of that stuff, and his super attack is also pretty nice as well. But all of the stuff that made him nice beforehand, it's still nice even now. I would say the main thing that just kind of, like, holds this guy back is that there are just better technicals in the game to run. Like, if you're wanting to be someone who stays in the backline and is using sort of like trap like setups, why not go Frieza? If you're someone who is trying to be a like a debuffer, I suppose. Like instead of using your solar flare, you could just use the like gum thing from Boo, like when he wraps the stuff around you. Like there's just other people that, or like Gohan's a person who's gonna be doing or having more impacts on fights, in my opinion. So I think A tier kind of fits him well, because like energy mines can definitely catch you off guard, but they're not going to be something where it's like, oh fuck, and then like you lose like half your HP, you know. And I think that's the main thing with about him, is that he's just good. He's good. He's like Gotenks. He's just good. Next we have Trunks. Now he's like someone who you could put in S tier, or you could put in B tier, or you could put in A tier. I think overall you can put him in the middle, but like he can look S or B tier depending on who's using him. And because I think that he is a person who, he's very late gamey. He's so little HP wise at the start, and only after transformation does it finally feel like you're not going to die in 2 hits. So early game, you have to be really, really careful with him. But man, late game, when you get his burst sword to max and the damage is further increased against enemies whose HP is below, like it's a really good kill confirm option. His Vanish Strike is one of the only abilities in the game that can go past walls, and it's an instant move, right? Like it has nothing at all. It's like bam, like that's it. You know, even his burning attack, which is probably his worst skill out of them all, still can blind people. It still does an okay amount of damage, and damn, his ult is so deadly, man. Like it does so much damage, and the AoE range even in the like start is really, really nice. But yeah, I think the main thing that holds him back is just the fact that, like I said, he is a person who is very late gamey, and you have to be very careful with him, or else he can look very, very, very bad. Which is why I think that he should go in A tier. Next, we are going to have the S tier, which we're going to start off with Hit. And it's funny because when people first talked about this guy, he was always thought of to be very, very bad. And now I feel like, now that we've seen a lot of people be able to utilize his kit a lot easier, and now that season 1 has kind of come out and we're able to have it, we're able to like try out this character a lot more than when it wasn't just season 0. This guy can be such a killer, such a good character. All of the S and Z tier characters for support all have something special about him, and his main job is being an annoying prick. His dimension infiltration has it where you warp, you gain movement speed, you get stealth. You can use Gekishin bursts, so you can do that under towers. The effect of it is so long that eventually, with it being maxed out, the cooldown is not as long as the actual ability timer itself. So you can just constantly be in a state of vanish, or not being in a state of invisibility. Excuse me. His super attack as well can just be such a game changer, because you apply this to people, you get buffs yourself, you give debuffs to enemies. The people who are on the enemy team get their map obscured, so they can't actually see where their allies are. They're just it's such an oppressive ability. And while it's not as good as like other characters who like have like a big AoE bomb or stagger for like 3 seconds like Gohan or things like that, right? I still think that it is one of the more powerful super attacks in the game, just because, again, it can stop a push, It can help with securing bosses because the enemy just can't communicate like how much the actual boss has HP wise. All of that stuff. It makes it so hard to fight this guy when inside of that, right? But all of his abilities also just pair so well into each other. The Vital Point Strike, creating the shock wave and staggering enemies who haven't discovered you when it hits, can mean that, like, yeah, like if you're just inside of the clouds constantly, if you have, like, another thing too, the other characters inside of this, none of them will benefit from things like the clouds, things like the Spirited Away, anything like that, right? Meanwhile, Hit does. Hit gets stronger when you get clouds, when you get the Spirited Away and things like that. So even if you don't get skill boost 1, if you don't get superstar, if you don't get things like that, he still has a way to get directly buffed from the divine draws, which is pretty crazy. And then Death Blow is also a really nice thing to have. I feel like it's kind of like Trunks' ability, where it just has such an insane range that you can use it for a lot of kill confirms. But if you're someone who is just immediately Vital Point Striking, Vital Point Striking, Vital Point Striking, it allows your other characters like DPS type characters to go ahead and do a lot of damage while the person is staggered for so long and staggered for so often as well. Next, we are going to have AGL. I almost said AGL, First Form Frieza, dude. I still got the Dokkan in my brain. But next, we're gonna have First Form Frieza. He is so stupid. Like, I don't even think I need to talk about this guy too much. His minions are his best part about him. His Supernova is so fucking stupid. The fact that you get it, I think it's like 45 seconds is the cooldown. So every single interaction, this guy is just like, haha, like, it does so much damage. It applies all attack down as long as you're in that range. So you put that on top of an enemy tower, everyone is going to be doing less damage. Everyone is going to be taking lots of damage. You put the Zarbon into Doria and it can protect the tower a lot easier. Your Imperial Decree not only applies movement speeds to get out of situations, it can be used for damage to buff Zarbon and Doria even more. It can buff your allies with movement speed as well. Like, he is so good. He has no weak points. The only weak point that he has is the fact that he has like 2 HP. But because he has Zarbon and Doria, in my opinion, it doesn't even matter because he has like people to back him up with that, right? Next, we have 18. Now, I know a lot of people might feel like this is a little bit of a controversial pick. I've talked to other people and they feel like 18 should go like in A tier, but in my humble opinion, I feel like she deserves S tier just because of how often she can counter a lot of these Z tier characters, or the S tier characters, I should say. No, the Z tier, right? The S tier character, or Z tier characters, excuse me. When units like Super Saiyan 3 Goku are stationary, the fact that 18 is like zoom, 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 like using your Excel dash and just going past a person, past a person, past a person, past a person, and then you can use your Destructo Disc or your Lightning Step as a kill confirm. If not, you also have your Heartbreaker as well. Like, 18 is a person who needs to be close range, and in a game of long range, that can definitely hurt a character. But if you get her to be close range to a lot of these other units, damn, does she do a good job, man. She does. She is such a killer to someone like Super Saiyan 3 Goku, who cannot get away from her at all. But if, again, she does have the only one issue of you have to be good with her. You have to be able to use that skill. You have to hit an enemy to be able to reuse it. So you have to be good with her in order for her to look good. And I know that sounds stupid to say out loud, but like, you have to know how her character works in order to make it look to where she can look nice. Oh yeah, and also her super attack is unavoidable, by the way. That's not what it says on the actual thing itself. I swore that it said it was unavoidable. But either way, she launches towards the enemy and then immediately does that. And if you get an assist or you get a kill, you also lower the cooldown, which is a nice thing to have for sure. Her Assault Rush can also just be very, very deadly when applied. Next, we have the Daim Goku. Another character that I feel like a lot of people underrated and probably put in A and B tier. But once we had a lot more time to use him, he seems a lot better now. His Pansy Wasabi Bomb is so deadly in doing damage over time. It does a lot of damage just in general. On top of that, when you pair it with something like the Lightning Bolt from Glorio, he can look so good. In my opinion though, his worst part about him is just this power pole dance. Like it's so worthless. Like it doesn't really do too much. It doesn't really do too much in my opinion. His Swift Spark can, like, it can definitely do some nice things for sure, just because he also has immune to all, and then he does more damage when people are trying to attack him. So in that regard, he's pretty nice. But like, I believe the window of getting the immune to all is pretty small. And then on top of that, the AoE doesn't really get as big as like Spirit Bomb, as like Dragon Fist, you know, like there's other characters who have better things, but his base kit is so good that it kind of makes up for it, you know. Like his Lightning Bolt and Wasabi Bomb can just genuinely kill half of your HP more often than not, and he just goes, and then he just like hits it towards you, and then you lose half your HP. Like it's so insane. Next we have Kale. Oh my god. She is so stupid, man. She can be so insane. Similar to Daim Goku, her energy sphere and either the blaster shot or charge force combo can knock literally almost half the game out, and then her super attack being one of the better ones in the game, having it where you get extra HP, you do lots of damage. Like, dude, look, all the HP is gone when just the 3 hits, like boom, 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 and that's it. And almost all of his HP is gone. And just that, right? It makes it very hard to deal with this character. I will say that she's kind of like Frieza in a sense, where her early game you just have to be a little bit careful with, because of the fact that she can have a little bit of like, I think she's one of the lowest HP DPSs in the game, so you have to be really aware of that, right? Her courage for allies though is pretty nice. It boosts damage by skills activated at an ally hero's position, right? So it's kind of like the Gohan effect in a sense, and it's just like an extra bonus, right? But the amount of burst damage that he has is just insane. Next we have the Fat Boo. His buffs made him too good, man. Like, his main issue beforehand was that his healing ray was, like, AoE was not that big until you got it maxed. Now it is too good. Late game, it covers an entire lane of people. Well, an entire lane. It covers your entire screen of people. So when you're able to do that and you're able to keep your allies in the fight, you're able to get the cooldown relatively fast. You're able to chase down opponents with your ready go. You're able to use your Shingle Gum and apply movement speed down to help out your allies get kill confirms. You're able to apply attack down to stop someone from doing more damage. It like feels so, it's so fucking good. I would say the one thing that holds him back really is just his ultimate early game. It's an ultimate that just feels so worthless. Cause early game his AoE is so small, and the range, or not the range, the wind up time is also really long. So more often than not, then it just doesn't feel like an ultimate you're able to really utilize too often. But he's really, really good. Next, we have Cooler, who is the second best tank in my opinion. And man, is he so good. The fact that he just gains immune all when activating skills that's not a super attack is so stupid, because his destruction rate comes up like every 4 to 5 seconds, I believe. It is such a small window of time for his cooldown. Then his Death Stopper on top of that, just able to apply stagger to dashing enemies. It's able to have like you're able to combine that with the like retaliation. A lot of his kit works together so well. And his Death Chaser, when you fucking pick up that person, you go BAM and you slam him into the ground, it feels so good, man. His ultimate is also another one that is, it's like Photon Bomber if you put it on steroids. Because you pair that with something like Super Saiyan Goku's Spirit Bomb. You pair that with someone like Dragon Fist. You pair that with a lot of these AoE type just super attacks. And not only are you not able to escape from coolers, but you're taking damage from coolers, and then you're taking damage from whatever on top of that, right? Like I really have no complaints about this guy. In fact, I feel like after Khalifa gets nerfed, he should be the next on the chopping block. Is that all we have for S tier? No. We still have 2 more people. So next we have Piccolo. Man, his buffs just made him one of the better ones, right? Again, it's kind of like we look at a lot of the other S tier characters on here, and it's just a lot of characters who are able to do a lot of damage insanely fast, and that's their main strong point. And Piccolo is that exact same way. His Light Grenade is something that you can just get one shot by late game. Same thing with the special beam. It can be so easy to charge up all the way and then get a boss kill, get the triple boss KO, and then you kind of win the game from that. But it's pretty good at doing the damage like that. His Light Grenade is very, very nice as well. I would say if I were to put him in the S tier ranking though, he's probably like better than 18 but worse than most of the other units on here. I would say, just because of the fact, well, actually, I don't know. You could maybe argue Daim Goku below Piccolo. It's hard to say, right? Like I said, I didn't order this for a reason. But the main issue with him is that I feel like his Hell Zone trap is so bad early game. It doesn't really feel like it's something you really care about until later game. And his Demon Whip is, blech. You have to grab onto a wall, an ally, an enemy, only for that to actually like matter. And it's just off. What is nice though is that he can lower his cooldown with the with his basic attacks, which is really nice. But like again, like his Demon Whip, it's an option to escape, but I don't know, like it just feels so awkward to use in my opinion. But that should be it for... No, we got Super Uber left. This is another person who I believe you could either argue for S or A tier. I personally have him as S tier just because of the fact that he's just another character that just does decent burst damage. And again, his Cyclone, this is so nice. Like it takes the criticism that I have with Majin Buu and it just erases it, because instead of having it where it's like, oh yeah, dude, this is such a hard ability to hit later on, or not hard ability to hit later on, it's a hard ability to land. It's like, no, it's just like a Kamehameha, and then that Kamehameha is going to go ahead and turn people into candy, so they're not able to attack. And then on top of that, like he has a decent like jump in option. He has a nice, like all of his skills are pretty good, I would say. His Brutal Buster is pretty nice. His Rage Barrage is pretty nice. His Shooting Chaser is pretty nice. His passive is really good. He just does everything really nice. He doesn't have any like flaw about him. And finally, we have all of these Z tier characters. We can go ahead and put all of them in here and just talk about them one by one. So let's start off with the DPS characters, because I think that that's going to be the ones that is just the easiest to talk about. Again, I am still on the side of the fence where I think Super Saiyan Goku is better than Super Saiyan 3. If you want to say Super Saiyan 3 is better, that's entirely fine. But I personally think that Super Saiyan Goku is just better because of the fact that he has more escape options than someone like Super Saiyan 3 Goku. And a lot of it can't be countered by units like Caulifla, who are just like, oh, sorry, you're going to have to follow me if you want to use your abilities. Like his Meteor Hammer is one escape option. His Kaioken is technically 2 escape options if you count both of them when it's super skilled. Or just 2 escape options when it's just the beginning of the game, right? But his Kamehameha does a lot of damage. His Meteor Hammer does a lot of damage. And even with the nerf of the cooldown, it is still a very decent move. His super attack, his Spirit Bomb, not only has a insane amount of damage, you can increase it with the Kaioken. You can have it where it's a very decent boss killer. It is a very decent thing to just throw down on opponents, and you can get a lot of kills on that. It is such a big playmaker. His passive is something, again, I feel like just doesn't really get talked a lot about. Having it where your ally goes down, you're able to see the opponent and where they are for a period of time. You're able to have the damage increased against them for a period of time. Like, it's such a nice but niche thing to have. But yeah, like he doesn't really have any flaws, I would say. He's just like an all-around good character. Next, we have Super Saiyan 3 Goku, who I think can have higher highs and lower lows. His Dragon Fist can do so much damage. His Kamehameha, combined with the instant transmission, is such a fucking killer, man. It's so good. His If I Don't Do It, Who Will is, again, just another kind of like niche thing. Because usually you don't really want to be going into situations where you have less HP. And I'm not sure what the exact percentages of your damage being boosted are. But fuck, man, it's so good with the Super Kamehameha, right? His Explosive Strike is the only thing that I would be like, it's okay, I guess, you know? But even then, it's still nice to have, like, re-entering the command and then just being able to teleport back to the spot that you were. Kind of gives you, like, the breathing room while also just being able to just do that little bit of damage while getting out of a situation and maybe just getting, like, an EX Cell Jr. kill while teleporting back to the position that you were, right? His instant transmission easily needs to be nerfed. The fact that it lowers the cooldown if you target an enemy hero is fucking stupid. When more often than not, that's the thing you want to be teleporting to anyways, to just get kill confirms. He is a character that when you look at, you have to go, fuck, I gotta work around this guy. He's kind of like Frieza, where if there is a character, if that character is inside the lobby, you have to completely change how you're playing. Because if you do not, you will die and you will lose the game. The one thing I will say that holds him back, and probably the reason why I also say that Super Saiyan Goku is just like slightly better, is because of the fact that you can't even get your ultimate until you are level 7. So when someone like Super Saiyan Goku can get that early boss kill and is just slightly better on the early side of the game, if you're not able to get that level 7 with this guy, he can fall a little bit behind because you just can't get that super attack until you get to level 7. But it's not enough of a holdback to put him into S tier. He's just straight up Z tier. Next, we have Caulifla. Fucking A, man. The amount of Super Saiyan 2 Cauliflas I run up against makes me want to punch my monitor and release all of my frustration out on it. Because why did they make her like she is? Having it where you're getting less damage taken when your enemy is provoked, and then her Storm Kick has it where the duration of provoked lasts for so long. Fuck, man. Like, why did they make her so good? Her Crush Cannon also applies provoked as well, which I guess is like a nice thing to have for sure, because it'll just make it to, oh, come on. It'll just be like a nice thing to have for sure, but in my opinion, it's not really that big of an impact until later game. But dude, like she's okay. When you want to, people want to say Cooler is the best. The reason why I don't want to say Cooler is the best is because Cooler's like immune to all lasts for literally a second at max, right? Caulifla's damage reduction ability, which is basically a second solid barrier, lasts for the entirety of like, isn't it like 4 to 5 seconds that this thing happens? Let's just go ahead and count this real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, like 5-ish seconds, right? So Cooler has it where like he can get a max of 3 seconds if you want to say, from using 3 abilities, and then you have to wait for the cooldowns to come back. Meanwhile, you just have to wait for the cooldown to come back on one ability, unless you're using the super attack on Caulifla, and then you just take no damage anyways, right? On top of that, her energy release can also be just something that helps you get boss kills. It has it where it helps you buy a little bit more time until you maybe get that storm kick back. Like, I fucking hate her so much. Oh yeah, she also, forgot to mention it, when she applies Provoked, not only does she reduce damage received, because fuck me, I guess, but then she also makes it where everyone who has an escape option can't escape. Meteor Hammer goes to you then. Kamehameha, any like attack ability goes to them. Instant Transmission, you can only go to Caulifla. Like, it negates half escape options off the bat. So it's so frustrating to deal with. Lastly, we have Gohan. Having it where you just get all defense up and you apply all attack up to a nearby ally when you're next to characters like Super Saiyan Goku and Super Saiyan 3 Goku, who are already doing an insane amount of damage, you're able to pair that with your second ability and make it where you stagger the opponent or just apply no skills if it's not fully charged, is a nice thing to have. His Maseko could be used to push back enemies and help your allies escape. His Leave This to Me can be used to protect people when Super Saiyan Goku or Super Saiyan 3 Goku are using their Kamehameha and just giving you a lot of energy up, while making it where enemies that are afflicted get afflicted by energy defense down. His ultimate, just not only being able to hit multiple enemies and being able to, oh sorry, not that one, the Shattering Beam, not only able to hit multiple enemies but also stagger them while also dealing like an okay amount of damage. It's like so stupid, right? There's not one thing that is bad about this Gohan. The like least impactful thing is the Leave This to Me. But when you have units like Super Saiyan 3 Goku and you have people like Super Saiyan Goku being absolute menaces in lane, it's still a nice thing to have for sure. But this is the list. I'm not really sure what I would change. I don't think, like, after putting this all here, and just kind of like copy and pasting the list that I had taken a picture of, that I asked Monatos if, you know, if they thought that it was a fine list. I think that this is like all fine. Like I said, the only argument you can, I guess, potentially make is that maybe Oob and 18 go down a tier, but that's about it. Like, I think I'm like hard stuck on almost all of this here. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.